Hey flood fans, this is day 2 of after the storm. Just for reference here, you can see, I'm not saying a lot of words, but just so you guys can see what things look like. So if you remember my neighbor's yard from yesterday, the water's come up probably another good 3 inches. But let me show you here. You can see out there in the river that the water is actually moving now. It was moving the opposite direction before. So since it's moving north, that's actually a good sign. That means that it's not all bottled up and it is moving a little bit. We're not expected to actually crest, and when they use the word crest, that means that the water will stabilize, hopefully not go up anymore until next Wednesday. For previous hurricanes, they were never right about that. It was always days and days after they predicted that it would crest before it actually did. So we will see. That's the river situation for now. Let's look at the street. As the street goes, you would think it's a street like any other, but I can tell you that it's not. But I wanted to give you guys a reference point just so you could see what this street looks like right now from here. This house actually flooded really bad during the last hurricane, so this is just a reference to see how high the water gets, and hopefully it doesn't flood again. They were fixing this house from the hurricane 2 years ago. Here's where the trouble starts. So yesterday I showed you this storm drain and all of the water that was moving in here really quickly. And there you could see there was still a little bit of space, but now it's not. That storm drain is full. That means the river level has risen to where this storm drain is no longer draining. So what will happen along here, it's already happening a little bit, but what will happen along here is you'll see these gullies here. They'll fill up with water, and then the street will fill up with water. And more water will come through here until the street is impassable. So just letting you see. So one of the interesting things about these wetlands in here is that when it's like this, when there's all this water, the mosquitoes at dusk are fierce. And when this road gets flooded, and people have to come in here at night or whatever, and they are having to use their small boats or kayaks or whatever to get down the street, they get eaten up with mosquitoes like you wouldn't believe. And these mosquitoes are big. So just letting you guys know what you can expect if you are ever in a situation like this. The other bad thing about this is back in here, even though we're in a densely populated area, and this is one of the few places around where there actually are some woods. There's a lot of wildlife in here. There's a lot of deer, lots of bears. We used to have some wild hogs, but I think some people came and hunted those. But lots of wildlife in here. Of course, we don't need to mention the alligators and the snakes. This place is loaded with those. So this is the part yesterday where I was driving through and this whole street was filled with water, and it was coming through pretty quickly, and I was seeing how deep it was. So all of that is drained down. All of that is drained towards the river now. So this section, unless we get another hurricane, it likely won't flood again. This is where people will come and park their cars. And about right to this point, if you see that group of trees right there, that's where a lot of people park their boats and kayaks when the street and the other streets just past this one. It makes like a little fork, and there are 3 or 4 streets on here, and when those streets flood and the water makes its way to about up here, this is where folks park their cars, and then they have to get to their houses from boat or kayak. This was the deepest spot yesterday. Right here is where that water was pouring through. This is still really mucky and all of that, but I'll let you see. I want you to see the drainage of where all the water comes in, just so you can get an idea. Still a lot of water in here, and it's moving. See that? This is all pouring into the river right now. And like I mentioned yesterday, all of this water comes from road easements and drainage from roads all around this area. Hey flood fans, here we are on day 3 after Hurricane Milton. And I told you yesterday the water would be coming up, and it is. What used to be a dock is now, I don't know what I'd call it. It's a wet dock, and it's almost fully submerged, so we're up another few inches of water today. We're still not anywhere near cresting, so we'll have to see how much further it comes up. Right there. You missed it. Well, I missed it. There was a turtle. He was about to climb on the dock here and hang out. There will be lots and lots of wildlife that once a few more inches of water goes by here, there'll be lots of stuff hanging out on here. Of course, as you might expect, this wood being underwater is not a good thing at all. Not much you can do about it. So let's do a little check on the riverside here. That's the river out there. Straight out there, that's the St. Johns River. And you can see the water has come up there. Now it's in the street here. This is just starting, like I said. That drains underwater. Here's that tree that fell down. That's a monster. Holy jeez, look at this thing. That thing just no longer take it. Looks a little bit rotten. I'm not going in there. There's too many ants. But look at this. So this is all water coming up from the river. And soon, all of that water, you can see where it is. Backing up, beep, beep, beep. It's coming in the street. This is what happens. Okay, so this is a part of the street that I have been showing you guys for a couple of days. You can see that the water is coming up towards the middle of the street here. Let me show you the drain on this side. This is the one I've been showing you. Let me walk down this street while I still can without having some big old rubber shoes on. There you go. There's that drain. That's the one we saw yesterday. It was filled up, but the water wasn't over it, so the water has gone up a few more inches. Now it's down the street. There's the drain on the other side. I hadn't shown you that one before, but same thing with that one. Down the street. So day 3, this is what this looks like.